So in our last lecture we saw some basic things about molecular biology and what is central dogma. Now we start with nucleic acids. Nucleic acids are so named as these were first found abundant in nucleus. Nucleic acid perform three functions. These control the overall biochemical machinery of a cell. These control phenotypic characters, and these also act as genetic material. Nucleic acids are linear polymers made up of large numbers of units called nucleotides, and that is why these are also referred as polynucleotides. Have you ever wondered what is the chemical nature of nucleic acid? Whether these are base or neutral or salt or acid? Yes, as the name suggests, these are strong acids. So whether it is DNA or RNA, deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acids, both of these molecules are acidic in solution, remember. Chemical composition of nucleic acids, whether it is RNA or DNA, we are talking about nucleic acids. Whether it is DNA or RNA, when it is hydrolyzed completely, nucleic acids liberate equal amounts of three components, three chemical species. First of all, nitrogenous bases, phosphoric acid, and pentose sugar in equal amount. Equimolar concentrations of nitrogenous base, phosphoric acid, and pentose sugar are released when a molecule is hydrolyzed completely, which strongly suggests that these three are component of its monomer. That is, these three are component of nucleotides. To understand physicochemical properties of nucleic acids and their metabolism, it is important to understand properties of these components. So let's see these components one by one. The very first component is nitrogenous base. Today we'll study just nitrogenous bases, and we call them the letters of life. These are first of all hydrophobic compound. The name itself suggests these are basic, and these are aromatic bases. As you can see the structure here in this slide, that these are ringed compounds, and the ring has alternate double bonds or the pi electron cloud, and that is why these are aromatic compounds. So nitrogenous bases are heterocyclic compounds first of all, because if you see the cycle, it is not made by carbon only, it has carbon and nitrogen, and that is why these are heterocyclic compounds. Fine. And since nitrogen is present, since the ring is made up of carbon and nitrogen, we call them nitrogenous rings. Nitrogenous, made up of nitrogen. Rings have aromatic character, as I have just told you, since these have pi electron clouds. So these are aromatic nitrogenous bases. Okay, these are heterocyclic compounds, nitrogenous compounds, basic compounds. Now you can see there are two types of rings. One is single and one is double. Single ring is called pyrimidine ring, and the double ring is called purine ring. If you look at these two rings carefully, pyrimidine ring is 6-membered ring, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in purine the same ring is there with an extra 3-membered portion called imidazole portion. So there is just the difference of this imidazole portion. If I add a 3-membered ring here, it will become purine ring. Now there is some difference in numbering of these two rings. Pyrimidine ring is numbered starting from bottom end, and it is starting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here it is started with another n, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Why it is not uh, you know why don't we start numbering from this carbon? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. It will be a streamline. Why should we number it in such an odd way that 1 2 3 4 5 6 a ring is completed, and then again we are saying 7 8 9? It is showing that this is something, this is a separate portion. Yes, and that is why we are numbering it like this. See, the first ring is a complete ring and second ring is added to it. So this type of numbering 1 2 3 4 5 6, which is closed, completed for one particular ring, and then 7 8 9 is a separate ring, and that is why it is not in streamline. So this is how these are numbered. And I remember the day when I was in intermediate and I was studying these rings, and you are just studying chemical component of an acid, and the very first component you find is a base. So it was quite interesting, and I was really amazed when I was just starting with molecular biology, and it was really very interesting to see how bases can make an acid. So the pyrimidine rings and their derivatives, let's go one by one. Pyrimidines are single ring structures. These are 6 membered. Each ring has 2n and 4c. There are 3 pyrimidine derivatives. These are the 3 pyrimidine derivatives. You see at this second, one oxygen is there, and at fourth an amino group is there, and that's why it's called 2-oxy 4-amino pyrimidine. So these are not IQAC names. These are simple names we give them, and in the same way you can call uracil 2,4-dioxy pyrimidine, and you can call thymidine. You see, just like uracil, thymine also has these 2 O groups, just one methyl group at the 5th position, and it becomes thymine. So thymine is nothing else but it is 5-methyl uracil, or 2,4-dioxy 5-methyl pyrimidine, whatever you like to say. The purine ring and its derivative. Purines are double ring structures. Each ring has 2n atoms. The purine ring is 9 membered, 4n and 5c. In this structure, an extra ring called imidazole portion is fused with the pyrimidine ring. We have already seen this. There are 2 purine derivatives participating in nucleic acid structures: 6-aminopurine adenine and 2-amino 6-oxypurine guanine. So that is all for today.